entrepreneur, they've got a business idea, they've got something that they feel called to do or they feel like is a passion project, but they feel stuck. Usually, they're still in the corporate world, they're still working for somebody else. I don't have enough time, I don't have enough money, there's no way I can get this off the ground. And I do a lot with folks in that transition, or folks that have already launched but maybe are struggling to get it off the ground.
Right, I understood. And just say we're talking about people that have not made any big steps to move into this next phase of their life. What would you say the
Right.
most important thing they need to do?
A lot of times it's doing what I call a dream exercise, where it's a little bit of looking back and a little bit of looking forward. So it's sitting down with yourself and doing the internal work. As we usually blame things like, I don't have enough time, I don't have enough money, but what's really holding us back is usually our own self, or it's our own, you're your problem and you're your solution. So what I have people do is go through an exercise where they sit down and they look back at what they've done in the past. And what they're looking there is for nuggets of things that they love, things that they hated, things that they were good at, things that they struggled with, things that they had problems with, things that came to them that everyone else asked them for help. But at the same time, they're sitting there going, but this is easy. Everybody knows how to do this. The reality is everybody doesn't know how to do it, but it feels like it to you because it comes natural to you. And then we look forward, where I do what I call an airport exercise, where imagine you're walking through the airport and you run into an old friend. You haven't seen him for 5 years. You've got a long layover. So do they. You sit down together at the airport restaurant, airport bar over a drink, and they look at you. They say, hey, what's been going on? How's your last 5 years been? I haven't seen you for a while. And you tell them, this has been the best 5 years of my life because. Your job is to fill in what comes after because, what makes the next 5 years the best year. And that combination of looking backwards and looking forwards, a lot of times bubbles up things that are your passions, are the things that you can actually turn into a product or a solution or something that solves other people's problems. And really and truly, that's all a business is something that provides a solution for a problem that others have.
And is this your 4-part framework, loosely what you're talking about?
It is part of that framework. So there's a couple of different exercises that we do as that overall framework. The really high level way of looking at it is it's really a set of sitting down and making a plan and then executing on it, reviewing on that plan or looking at what happened, and then revising, and then of course repeat, right? Do it over and over again. It's that idea of incremental improvement. This is one step in that. Usually at the beginning, we need to do some refocusing, because what's been happening is people have been implementing things, but they've just kind of been going, all over the place, instead of actually having a direction to go in or having a foundation to stand on. So we do a lot of foundation building as well.
Yeah, and just taking a step to getting actually a structure, put in place. It just, you go from that point of confusion to, okay, at least I know exactly what I've got to do, and that's where coaches like Scott and Karen, they give you that structure, and it's the first step to really making a change. So I always tell people that coaches are very valuable to speak to. And you use a process called DISC, D-I-S-C. What is that?
So DISC is a model that was invented in the 60s. It's a way of looking at our communication style, our personality. People will call it different things. I like to think of it more as a communication